Hello, this is my second video. Today I'm going to be showing off my wiring build. It's a bit laggy, so this video might have a bit poor quality, but it's fine. So what this is it's Conway's Game of Life, which if you're unfamiliar, it's a cellular automata, and basically what that means is you have a grid and you put cells on it and it'll automatically generate as if they were actual cells on like a petri dish, like a science lab or something like that. I'll explain the rules for those who are unfamiliar. Basically how it works, there are 4 rules. First rule is underpopulation. Say this is our live cell. If there's less than 2 live cells next to it, it'll die the next generation. If there are exactly 2 or 3 cells next to it, it'll stay alive. So if there's 2, it'll stay alive. 3, it'll stay alive. Then the next rule is overpopulation. So if there's more than 3, it'll die. And anything above that, it'll stay dead. And anything below 3, it'll stay dead. If it's already dead, it'll stay dead if there's anything below 3. Next is reproduction. Reproduction is the most specific. If there is exactly 3 live neighbors, it'll become alive the next generation. But if there are any less, nothing will happen. If there's more than 3, nothing will happen. But if there's exactly 3, it'll generate. And now the last rule is pretty simple. It's staying alive. So survival. If there's 2 next to it, it'll live. If there's 3 next to it, it'll live. And then if there's 1 more, it'll die from the overpopulation. And if there is less than 2, it'll die from underpopulation. So pretty simple rules. There's only 4 of them, as I just demonstrated. And this machine does all 4 of those for each individual cell. It's actually modular, so I can fit infinite numbers of these next to each other. Well, not yet, but I'll be able to do it when yeeps updates their servers and they can run redstone better, or wiring, and when the map size is bigger. Eventually, when the yeep servers can run more smoothly, this will cover, and they can have a higher block count as well. This will cover like the whole map, and it'll be really cool. Anyway, here's one of the individual cells right here. So I'll tell each color. So yellow is basically the memory, so it memorizes if the cell is alive or not. Green is the adder, so it'll like add up how many cells are next to it. And then blue is internet, so it connects to all the other cells to tell them if that cell is alive or not. So it'll be like, oh, this cell next to me is alive. And it'll add up, and if it's 3, it'll come alive if it's not already alive. And if it's 2, it'll stay dead. If it's already alive and it's 2, it'll... Yeah, the same rules as I just explained. So the map itself, we got some graphics over here. This isn't in a community world yet, this is just my private world. So there's not really much about, so you can't really check it out for yourself. It's just a showcase. Anyway, if you're familiar with Conway's Game of Life, you'll probably know the shape I'm about to make. If not, I'll explain really shortly. Okay, I'm done. Okay, ignore the message, it just does that. So this shape I've made is a glider. What it will do is the way the cells are positioned, it'll generate in a way that it'll go to that corner and then regenerate there. Because I actually made it so it's semi-infinite, so if something reaches the edge, it'll just teleport to the other side as if it's going onto a new grid that doesn't exist yet. And unlike other models, I remember there was another Conway's Game of Life someone else made. Unlike that model, this one is modular, so as I said before, you can infinitely stack it, and mine can actually sense cells diagonally, while theirs could only do vertical and vertical and horizontal, not diagonally. So mine is a lot more advanced than theirs, mainly because theirs was made before the number variable blocks, because I actually use the variable blocks to count how many cells are next to each other. As you can see, each cell has a different colored variable block. Anyway, what this does is this will start the next generation. So when I press this once, it'll generate the next generation based on those 4 rules. See, and that's the end. But if I click this, it'll automatically generate it. So like every few seconds it'll change frames. So far so good, it's working. I've tested this a couple times, so it should work. As you can see, it's gliding into the corner. It is a very simple model, but it should... you'll actually start seeing it appear in the other corners as it transitions. Yeah, there it is. So these are still getting data from each other, so they can still read each other's like alive or dead state, even though they're on opposite sides of the grid. So they should eventually end up back where they started, so it should be back in the original shape. I'll end it. Wait, and you go one more frame, and it should be in its original state. Yeah, there we go. See, exactly the same. So this is very good. The only thing about this is it doesn't work with multiple people. It only works with one person in the lobby at once, because otherwise it overloads the servers and it just doesn't work. So it needs to be one person. I added a randomize button that'll randomize the grid. Every square has a 50-50 chance of coming alive or not. That's our pattern. Let's see what this does. Ooh. Yeah, sometimes you'll get pretty satisfying patterns. Oh, most of it just died from overpopulation. That's gonna die there. Oh no. Oh. Wait, this is actually a pretty interesting pattern. Oh, it's an oscillating... Oh wait, no, this is a glider. It made a glider. See, look, it's gliding. See that line? It'll reappear here on the next frame. See? And then it'll reappear in that line. Oh wait, after... Yeah, it made a glider. Wow, that's cool. I haven't seen it like make a glider. That's pretty rare for the randomized generator to just make a glider. There's a difference between gliders and oscillators. The difference is gliders will move across the screen, while oscillators will stay still. What an oscillator does is it is just a repeating pattern. The thing is, an oscillator will repeat infinitely in the same spot. It won't move, while a glider will move across the screen. What we just saw from the randomizer, we got a glider because it slowly moved across the screen. I'll randomize it again. Now let's see, what does this pattern do? So this pattern is kind of breaking up a bit. Eventually we'll get a still pattern. Usually, either it'll all die out or it'll form a still pattern. A still pattern is just when it's the perfect pattern where no cells die and no cells, just no cells die and no cells are created. So they're just completely still. So far, it's kind of just flashing. It's probably gonna die. I'm actually surprised. Usually it doesn't live this long. Oh, it's starting to die out. It might die, unless it sparks back. Oh, it's sparking back. This can theoretically go on infinitely. Oh, this will die. Yeah, it's gonna die out. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, here's one example of an oscillating pattern. This is called a blinker. What it does is it will blink. It'll kind of look like it's rotating, but it'll blink horizontally and then vertically. Watch. So it'll just infinitely repeat the same pattern. Yep, it'll just infinitely do that. Never stop. Blinkers are not the best oscillating pattern, but they are a pretty simple one. Another pretty simple one that works on this 5x5 grid is if you make a long 2x2 like thick line, and then you add these two, if I'm right, this should just make it oscillating pattern. So this will infinitely oscillate. Yeah. So it'll infinitely, so it should switch back to the original pattern now. Yep, see, it just infinitely oscillates like that. So it's just a never-ending pattern. Anyway, I think that's probably all that I needed to show. Not much else. Or there's also a few like pretty cool patterns you can make. Not on a 5x5, but I think I know one. If I make a what's it called? Like a ball. Okay, really, or like a star like that, or a plus symbol. This should be pretty cool. Oh yeah, I think this turns into a circle and then it explodes. Yeah, it's circle or donut and then explodes. Yeah, that's a pretty interesting pattern. No, or not that interesting, but like a bit interesting. I don't remember how many possible combinations there are. Quite a lot, because every cell can either be on or off. And there's 25 cells. So that would be quite a lot of combinations that you could possibly have. So you could always find a new pattern. And since they can connect wirelessly from this side to the other side and vice versa, there could literally be infinite patterns you could make. Or not infinite, but like a large amount of patterns you could make. Yeah, and anyway, that is pretty much it. Hope you liked my second video. A bit longer than the first one. And this was just probably a lot more technical than the first one. But yeah, I'll just draw like a smiley face for the end. A smiley face. Okay, smiley face. Watch the smiley face. Oh. Triangle. Weird. Plane. I don't know what that is. Wonder how long this is gonna last before it dies. And there it goes. Anyway, that was it. I hope you learnt something maybe. I'm not sure. If you guys comment, if I should put this in like a community world. Again, it only works if there's only one person in the map at a time. Until they update their servers, it's just gonna have to be like that. And also, it only works on Quest 2. It doesn't work on Quest 3. I don't know why. It just doesn't. It only works on Quest 2. That's why I'm playing on Quest 2 right now. Oh, and also you have to have ellipses safety off, because otherwise, for some reason, it just turns all of them on or turns all of them off, even though some are on and some are off. It's weird. Anyway, that's it. So, have a good time, and yeah, bye.